Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Friday, August 18th, 2023. In tonight's video, I want to take a look again at the ongoing situation and devastation happening on the island of Maui. They had wildfires that had inexplicable behavior unless you look at the patterning and behavior of fires that are started by direct energy weapons. And there has been many reports that relief is being denied to the residents in an effort to drive them away. There's other even more disturbing reports coming out of Maui. Now, I'm going to go to a compilation I've got for you, and we are going to see if the veracity of an alternative media site is accurate, and if there's other insights and information on what they're sharing. And I think it's interesting to note a certain timeline I'm going to point out to you as we do this. Okay. All right. So hang on with me. Oh, before we go to that share screen, let me say this. Okay. 3D and lower dimensional energies want us to stay with them. They capitalize on heartache, anxiety, stress, outrage, and anger. So there's a part of me that didn't want to do this video, that didn't want to talk about this. But I think it's important for us to at least keep tabs on current events and put the energy out into the universe that we're not buying the BS. These official narratives, if they don't resonate as true and they don't seem to be jiving up with what boots on the ground are saying, which is always good to have a little familiarity with the social media platforms such as Twitter or TikTok and see what real ordinary people are posting and putting out there. If it doesn't resonate, we're not buying it anymore. We're tired of lies. We're tired of clones and being told that, Oprah 3.0 is believable. No, she's not. And whoever was allowed acting as her to purchase all that land in Maui, shame on all of them. Okay, now I don't want to get into the outrage and stuff like that, but I do think it's good for us to know we can manifest a different reality. We can control where our energy goes. Remember though, energy flows where attention goes. So we're going to get some familiarity with the situation, figure out how we're going to work at sending positive energy and manifesting a different outcome, or a quickly changing for the better outcome. And we're going to deny those that harvest on energy from outrage and anxiety and stress and anger, all those negative emotions. We're going to deny them their source, right? Okay, here we go to the compilation, which as always will be available to you if you click on the Facebook link in the video description box over on YouTube. This is just a cover photo I have. It's taken though from CBS Mornings, Outrage on Maui. Okay, now here are the 3 articles that have been posted this week on Real Raw News. That White Hats, in response to reports that there was not relief happening, that there were not rescue efforts, that just to keep an eye on the pulse of things because FEMA's got a bad track record. White Hats were going to Maui. What they found there in the second article was apparently very distressing, and they quickly found that they were outnumbered. And then today's article was Deep State Takedown. Reinforcements arrived, and on Thursday, the tide changed. They were no longer, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click on a new. They were no longer outnumbered. And they did quite a roundup and changed the tide of things here. They did find out, according to this report, that many of the supposedly National Guardsmen are actually 3-letter agency operatives wearing National Guard uniforms and doing horrible things. You can read the articles and go into more detail and find out what these are all about. And then I have a connection here to Twitter. to the article that used this graphic, and he talks about the Maui citizens outrage and how today, Friday the 18th, the person who made the decision not to sound any alarms on when the fires were raging is resigning. I'd like to know if there's a connection here, so if we have time, we're going to see if there's a connection with the resignation of, hang on, Maui Emergency Management Agency, Herman and Dea, okay, who, even as he resigned, defended his decision not to sound the sirens because he said that that would have driven people into the fires. Oh, come on. If wild animals are smart enough not to walk into flames, don't you think that the citizens of Hawaii would have been the same? No, he wanted them in their house, not aware of the devastation coming around him, that very specific devastation that left trees standing, melted tires on vehicles, just very odd fire. Okay, so you can read that yourself. Again, the last word in this tweet is criminal, and I totally agree with it. So first of all, my first question for Universe, this may be a to read. I'll try not to take up too much of your time. Let's ask if we are getting to some extent accurate information from Real Raw News about the devastation and deep state antics going on in Hawaii, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know. Hang on, we'll find out together. All right, in this particular instance, are these articles coming from Real Raw News, ones that can be given some credence, and are they accurately or fairly accurately reporting on the situation, plus other insights and information the universe wants us to know? We're asking for this information and these insights to come to us as it would have before any obscuring, veiling, or obfuscation attempts on the information was in place. So directly before any obfuscation of this information. Because like it or not, guys, the three-letter agencies are using esoteric means to obscure information for us. We are able to work around that. And that's one of the reasons I'm letting you know some of the terms I use to do that, to get more accurate insights that haven't been befuddled and bespelled. Okay, our first card here, we have the Two of Swords. Then we have the Page of Wands, the Fool, the Six of Swords, Ten of Wands, Judgment, and Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to give you an overview of what I'm seeing here, and then we'll look at the elements of the cards that lead me to say these things. Again, I'm going to try to go a little quickly because I want to do a second read before we wrap up this video tonight. Okay, so here's what the cards are kind of nudging me to say. Number one, Real Raw News is giving us some truth with what they're saying. They are withholding some further information, and they are doing that at the request of the White Hats. So there is more information they could have put out there, but they haven't yet gotten the go-ahead to do it. But what they've shared is fairly accurate. And again, finding out that there's some people coming to the aid of those who are displaced and have suffered and lost so much is heartening. And kind of a rather ruthless response too. So good for them. Yeah, so they're going to be making sure that some relief gets to the people of Maui, Lahaina in particular. Okay, let's take a look at the cards that kind of led me to say those things. The Two of Swords was the situation asking about Real Raw News. And this is a card often that indicates a compromise. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And then further information about it is one of my White Hat cards, the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is one of discovery and enthusiasm, and again, just a White Hat card. So at the behest of the White Hats, there's some information that's still not available to us. There's operations. They're on the ground. They are taking care of things as we speak. So there's just, you don't share information about an operation until it's complete. And even then, if it is going to be a staging for further developments, you still withhold some then. So yeah, what we're hearing from Real Raw News, it's fairly accurate. Okay. The recent past, we have the Fool. Okay, that's a setting out on a new path. And so this reporting, well, Real Raw has been reporting about current events. These wildfires and the response to it are kind of a new storyline that they're following up with quite a bit of integrity. And yes, the story that the White Hats are on the ground and trying to get some relief to the residents of Lahaina is absolutely accurate. The Six of Swords is always about going from a place of trouble to a better place and protecting innocent life in the process. So if that doesn't speak well of what's going on and the efforts that they're being reported in Real Raw News, then nothing does. The near future cards we've got here, Judgment, doesn't need a lot of explanation. That's consequences for choices. Okay, so they are facing some judgment, White Hat judgment, and it's been pretty, according to reports, like I said, it's been pretty definitive. Okay, take no prisoners, basically. Okay, and they're going to see it through to the end. The Queen of Pentacles here shows up and just lets us know that we are going to get through this, and there's going to be security and safety as the residents of Lahaina rebuild. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Let's get two more cards, and then let's see if these actions that seem to be fairly accurately reported by Real Raw News had anything to do with that resignation today. Okay, we got the Four of Cups and Death. Long, slow change. Okay, so the tides are turning. Okay, it's not just we, the people, that are tired of the lies and the deceit, the trickery and the treachery. Okay, so there is judgments coming, and while the Death card, even though it indicates a death on it, it's not really so much about death, although it can be, and we know there's been some loss of life there on Maui. And I say some, it's because it's being underreported. I don't know how much there is. But anyway, long, slow change. Again, tides turning. You know, in my first read about Maui, we got that this was a deep state ploy that was kind of like thumbing their nose at the White Hats and maybe tantruming a little bit because they've lost some ground, because they have. So they marshaled what forces they had and did this devastation and hope to capitalize on it. And again, just harvest that loosh. You know, we're talking, you know, evil sacrifices here with the loss of life. So yeah, the White Hats are making sure that this changes and we're setting out in the new path. Absolutely. Okay, quick recap. I'm not going to hold the cards up because I've got them ready to shuffle again. We asked if the reporting by Real Raw News could be deemed accurate in this instance, and we did get the information that it is accurate, but there's some that's been withheld at the request of the White Hats because this is still very much an operation that's ongoing and in process. Does involve judgment and some big changes coming on. Now, one of those changes, because the action reported in Real Raw News happened on the 17th. On the 18th, Herman and Dea, the man in charge of emergency management, who had chosen not to let the sirens go off that night, has resigned, still defending his actions or inaction. But I want to ask if the White Hat presence now on the island and the shifting balance of power and just the light now headed into Maui has had some bearing on this resignation, and if there's other insights or information we need to know. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say about this. So the resignation of Herman and Dea. I wonder if there's a justice element to this. I'd love to have had someone catch a picture of him getting put into a police van and taken away after this press conference. But anyway, is the white hat presence, has that been a contributing factor in this change? And insights and information about this and other changes that are on the way. Okay. Oh, we got the two of swords again. The Chariot. The Emperor. We'll talk about getting a response from the universe. Wow. Ace of Cups. Yes, the white hat presence was the definitive reason, not the supposed health, whatever. Okay, we got the 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, the Empress. Okay. Again, insights I'm getting from this. Yes, we've got a yes. This gentleman is going to be definitely, he's in the crosshairs of the white hats. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we were asking for further insights and information about this situation. He's not the only one that's going to be taking a hike. Okay. There is going to be some legal ramifications and some accountability for this situation. Okay. So the Maui situation is again indicated by the 2 of Swords, which tells us that there's some information that is not available to us, but it could be, and hopefully will be, and let's work on making that manifest. The Chariot shows up, look, with the Emperor. So talk about, yeah, the white hats have had enough. Okay, enough collateral damage, enough loss of life, enough unexplained disappearance of little ones. And so they're stepping in a big way, and it's going to be change in the wind. Okay, in the near future, okay, the people of Lahaina are going to be very understandably and justifiably avoiding some of the official offers of help that are out there. I was reading a really heartwarming article about a man, one of the water sport legends, who turned his house into a relief agency. They're going to trust their neighbors, and they should, a lot more than officials. Okay. And the white hats are going to be very happy and more than willing to use boots on the ground, local residents, as their point people for the relief that comes to the island. And hopefully part of that relief is shutting down any of these land grabs and plans for turning that island into a smart island. And let's see, 2 more cards. Ace of Wands. Oh, Ace of Pentacles, I've got 3 aces. Yeah, so there's going to be more people stepping down, and rightly so, that were not on the right side of things, or paid off, or let greed get them. Guys, you can't spend money when you're swinging from a gallows, you know? Put people first and you're never going to regret it. Okay. And these people didn't put their people first. Okay. They let greed buy them off and get them off, and big time accountability headed their way for this. Okay. All right. Okay, quick recap of the second read when I asked if the resignation of the emergency management person today, Herman Andea, was connected to white hat presence and activities on the island of Maui. And this is the first time in a 9-card draw I've gotten 3 aces. 3 aces. Yes, yes, and hell yes. And he's not going to be the only one. We also got the ultimate white hat card and the younger version of him. So 45 and maybe JFK Jr., they've had enough of collateral damage and people being harmed and hurt. The people of Maui, and in particular Lahaina, are going to be distrustful of, and rightly so, of official offers of help. Okay. But what I'm seeing is they're going to choose to be independent and go their own way and trust their neighbors. And the white hats are going to be very happy to use those neighbors, neighborhood points, things like that for the relief effort to funnel help to people that need it. And so that's what we got tonight. So you can read those articles, be a little bit heartened that white hats stepped in a definitive way and stopped some shenanigans. And yeah, and read those articles because you're going to go from heartbreak to yeah, go for it. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time, for your attention, and just one more reminder, let's not put out negative energy for evil to feast on, okay? Let's put out love to the survivors, love to that island, love to the rebuilding effort, okay? Let's keep that in our mind. Yes, we want vengeance. We don't need revenge. We want vengeance. That's not our job, okay? If it is, do it well, do it quickly, and show no mercy. But since it's not our job for most of us, our job is to love those people and send that love and positive energy to them to help as much as possible through the rebuilding. And if you donate to relief efforts, I'm not going to recommend a certain one, but be very, very, very careful where you send your money, okay? I'll just say that. Do your homework, do your due diligence, okay? And if you find out, if you read on one of these sites that some local resident is helping his neighbors or her neighbors, find a way to get maybe your heartfelt help straight to that person, okay? And let's these big charities that have been nothing but arms of the deep state, be very careful that you don't enable them to continue their shenanigans. So until next time, be smart, be savvy, be loving, and let's send that love to the people of Lahaina, Maui, and the white hats that are helping to turn things around and stop this evil agenda from playing out as planned. Until next time, love, light, and everything bright. Bye.